Hey you guys, and welcome to another live broadcast. If you're catching me live, thank you so much for jumping on. My name is Diane Parham, and tonight we are going to talk about how to get your spouse or partner on board with your fasting lifestyle. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for jumping on with us. If you're joining us on Facebook, always take a second to hit that like button so you'll be notified when I go live or post to that page. And if you're joining us on YouTube, always hit that subscribe button so that you will be notified when I post and upload videos there as well, or when I go live. Tonight we are going to be talking about incorporating fasting into our lifestyle and how to get, maybe some other members of our family on board, or our spouse or our partner or our best friend or our girlfriends that we hang out with, so that we can all sort of live the same lifestyle. If you are just jumping on, my name is Diane, and for the past 25 years, I have been helping women find nutrition plans and fitness programs to help them look and feel their best, and most importantly, live their most authentic life. And for me, that has been done through intermittent fasting and incorporating it into our lifestyle, where my husband is fully on board, and now my kids are also kind of loosely practicing some fasting for themselves, and it has just been making sense for our family. My kids watched me kind of go through a phase a couple years ago where I was definitely not the happiest mom, definitely not feeling my best, and they've watched what I've done with intermittent fasting and kind of been over my shoulder as I've been doing my research and implementing, and it just makes sense for them as well. So we have really incorporated it now into what our family does and our lifestyle. So I'm hoping that this talk tonight will help you if you are really diving into your fasting and are hoping that some other members of your family will jump on board for you, not only for some support, but just so you're kind of living that same lifestyle. So I'm going to share a little bit with you guys tonight about how my husband sort of came on board with me, and then I'll kind of explain how we've brought in our kids to it. And then luckily for us, we have some very close friends that are also doing it as well. So it just makes it a lot more fun in your life when all the people that you care about and you like to spend time with are kind of doing the same thing that you're doing. So I started fasting. I did it because I was sick. I was having some issues with hormonal imbalance, thyroid issues, autoimmune disorders. I was diagnosed as pre-diabetic, the whole insulin resistant thing. I was kind of bummed out because I had put on a bunch of hormonal, 48, 49, 50-year-old woman weight and fats that I couldn't get rid of no matter how hard I worked out or how deep I dieted. And so when I started researching intermittent fasting, I really started researching it on the health benefits of it and could really care less about the weight loss benefits. I just wanted to feel like myself again and feel good. And so I started dabbling around on the health side of intermittent fasting. And it really started to make sense to me. I've been in a position before where I've kind of skipped breakfast, so that kind of made sense. I definitely like to work out in a fasted state, so that wasn't anything that was kind of new or foreign or uncomfortable to me. So I just started implementing what I had already kind of done unknowingly and just perfected it and really concentrated on putting myself in what I call a true fasted state and just not skipping meals, so that I could truly benefit from what the health kind of outcomes of fasting, when you're truly fasting and kind of paying attention to what you're doing with your body, being in a fasted state can do for you. And I was able to reverse a bunch of health conditions that I had, and I came back to myself, happy, energetic, wanting to be involved in the family, wanting to be able to kind of participate in some things that were going on, and just not being that grumpy kind of snapping everybody's heads off kind of mom that I know that I was for a period of time when I wasn't feeling well. And so I kind of just asked my husband, hey, have you ever thought about fasting? And, his big concern was having to go to work away from the home. So I work from home, so it was really easy for me to kind of have a day where I could adjust to my fasting and kind of get through that whole keto flu that we experience, and that I teach you in the course that we're in, and kind of how to navigate all that stuff. And he was like, I don't really know if I want to, or if I can handle that at work. He didn't want to kind of jeopardize, him feeling bad or low energy, or just feeling off when he had to be, at work and perform at a high level. So we practiced a little bit at home. The first couple days that he fasted, we did it at home. And And then we kind of just started putting pieces together, and I started explaining to him, like, what if you woke up in the morning to go to work? My husband goes to work very early, so he wakes up about 4. He leaves the house at 4:30. He starts work at 5. And I said, what if you didn't have to wake up and allot for time to pack a lunch and have breakfast? And you could just wake up, do what you got to do to get ready for work, grab a cup of coffee, get a water, and walk out the door. And so that was very appealing to him. And I always made sure, too, when I was going through sort of my research and experimentation and a little bit of failing and an implementation phase, that I didn't cram fasting down his throat. I really wanted him to see what it was I was doing and be the example of what it could be, and not sort of preach or, point fingers or demand that he take on what I'm doing if he wasn't interested. So I just tried to be a good example and model what fasting could do. And so he started seeing how easy my day was and how I wasn't constantly having to be in the kitchen to prepare food, because we were that family that ate every 2 hours, and every Sunday I would go to the grocery store and I would have this huge haul of groceries that everybody had. It took me all day. Everyone would have to take turns bringing in bags into the kitchen, and our island would be full of packages. It would take us like a half an hour to put stuff away, and then I would spend my entire day in the kitchen cooking and preparing food for the family for the week. Because when you eat every 2 hours and you have a family of 4 and you have hungry, athletic, active kids, you got to have a lot of food. And so he kind of noticed that I stopped doing that as well, and I would just sort of start to cook on the fly. I was able to actually start participating in dinner with my family. And any of you women out there know that when you are dieting and you're eating your 6 meals a day and you're eating 1,200 calories, because that's the calorie range that you fall into because of your weight or whatever it is that someone else predetermined that you should have in your day of calories, that you tend to front load it. And then by the end of the day or dinner time, when it's social time or family connection time, there's no calories for you left to eat. So I often would make a really nice dinner for my family, and then I would sit there and kind of go, I don't have any room in my plan to eat with you guys. I've had my calories for the day. Or I'd have some carrots or, a couple almonds, or I'd count something out very, sparsely, and that's all I was, quote unquote, allowed to eat. And so it was very sad for me to, not be able to really partake in the same kind of dinner that my family was having. And so my husband was noticing that I was actually participating in dinner as an equal player with everyone else, and I was eating exactly the same things everyone else was eating. And dinner didn't really change too much, because we've always been very clean with our meals. We've always been, very sensible with our nutrition, because that's what I do for a living. And so that part of it didn't really change, but the part that changed was I was now present and a participant in the family social dinner, and I wasn't just sitting there not allowed, quote unquote, by someone else's diet plan to eat. So the family was kind of noticing those things as well. So my husband was like, yeah, we'll give it a try. So we fasted together. We had our coffee in the morning. And when we first started fasting, we started with bulletproof coffee. So we did the whole butter thing. Then we had a big aha moment and realized that we don't do dairy. And so we were following a fad that applied to a lot of other people, but didn't necessarily apply to us. And so we put those pieces together. We ditched the butter coffee because we didn't feel good, because we're not dairy people. We did a little bit of coconut coffee for a while, and then we realized that wasn't our thing either. And so now we're just drinking black coffee with a little bit of stevia in it. Super simple. And so we kind of worked our way into what we have now as our plan for our family for fasting. And so we have our coffee, we do our water first, we kind of enjoy our morning without having to stress about making a big breakfast and then have a big cleanup. So we have all this free time. He went to work, didn't have to pack a lunchbox. So he has this time at work now when he has a quote unquote allotted lunch break at work. Now, instead of saying he's on lunch, we kind of refer to that as his free time, because he doesn't have to take the time at work to eat. He can do other things. So he listens to podcasts, or he kind of hangs out with his friends, or he reads a book, and he feels like his time's more productive. He comes home from work. He gets home about 2. That's when he breaks his fast. He breaks his fast the same way I do with the fat shake. I usually push mine till about 4 o'clock if I can. And then we have an amazing, huge family dinner together, and everyone eats the same. So my husband was like most husbands, and he was watching. He definitely wasn't against what I was doing with intermittent fasting because he knows I always do my due diligence, do my research, and he knows I wasn't feeling well. So I think he was probably a little hopeful that this would work for me. But then when he saw how easy it was for me, he saw the weight that I was losing, he saw how happy I was, he saw how less stressed out I was, he saw how much less work I had to put into it, and then how simple it was and how simple his little test day was at home. And then he tried it out at work, and he didn't die. Like, he was fine, he had enough energy, he actually felt great, his mind was clear. He could function well at work mentally. He was sleeping better. He was more energized during the day. So all the same things that I was feeling, he started feeling as well. My kids started picking up on it. My son's 17. He's very into health. He's very into nutrition. And he actually was just sharing with me today, like, how mentally focused he is when he's in a fasted state. He notices about 2 hours after he wakes up, his mind is super clear. He's in SAT and ACT and college application mode. And so he's utilizing the benefits of fasting, both mentally and physically, as far as his energy. He's very into working out and, making sure he has a really nice physique as a teenager and very healthy. And so he's started to incorporate his own plan for intermittent fasting, modeling what we're doing at home. My daughter has never been a big eater. She's not a sandwich girl. She hasn't really been that big of a breakfast girl. During the end of the school year, it was really easy for us, and it made a lot of sense for me to not send my daughter off to school crying as I'm shoving breakfast down her throat, telling her she has to start her day with breakfast, when the reality is you really don't. You just have to have a balanced diet and eat when you're hungry. It made mornings in our house so much more pleasant, and I just made sure on the days that she wasn't hungry that I sent her off to school with a very nutrient-dense snack and a lunch. And when she was ready to eat, she ate. And I was very confident in the fact that she was going to get everything that she needed because I was in control of that, because I packed it and sent her off to school with it. So, oftentimes we're afraid to kind of incorporate our lifestyle even with our kids because we don't want them to fast. And what we have to remember about fasting, and I really try to emphasize this with the women in my group, and I do this a lot when I'm on my one-on-one consult calls with the women that I have in my course, is, we oftentimes need to just kind of change the way we describe what we're doing. And my daughter doesn't necessarily fast. She just doesn't eat when she's not hungry. And that makes so much more sense when you say it out loud. Like, why would I force my daughter to eat when her body's telling her she's not hungry, and she's sensible enough to know when she needs to eat? And if there's nutritious food available for her, she'll eat. We don't have to shove overpriced sugar, carbo-loaded cereal down our kids' throats in order for them to have a great day at school. We should do the opposite and just make sure that when we send them off to school, most schools have snacks about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning. That's a very acceptable time to have your first meal and break your fast or start your nutritional day, however you want to explain it, and just make sure that your kids are provided with great food so that when they're ready to start their eating window, they have great food to put in their body. And the same thing goes for my son. He felt much more energized and much more mentally alert at school. He was taking 5 AP classes. He's very academically motivated. And so he needs to make sure that his brain is alert and on track. And he found that fasting helped him as well. My husband has been doing fantastic. He's lost a bunch of weight. He's sleeping so much better. We are both very busy people and have found that we not only have more energy but more time. We have a lot more resources because we're not spending a bunch of money on empty food that we necessarily don't need in our diet, trying to fill in gaps by eating every 2 hours just because that's what everybody says you're supposed to do, when the reality is we don't necessarily have to do it if that doesn't work for us. So my advice, if you're trying to get someone on board for you, is be a great example. Show what your lifestyle is doing by just living it out loud and being very positive and very encouraging of others who are interested. Try not to shove it down their throat. Try not to preach to them about what you're doing, and just be a really good role model. And this philosophy holds true, as cheesy as it may sound, but a happy wife is a happy life. And our families and our spouses, probably more importantly, want us to be happy. So if they see that we're happy and they see that we're not struggling and they see that we're not having to make so many compromises like we do when we're on one of those fad diets, they're probably more willing to listen to what you have to say or maybe jump on board to support you. So I always say, if you're living your life out loud positively, it will create a flock of people who will want to follow you. And that definitely holds true with intermittent fasting. So if you're suffering and you're miserable, trust me, no one's going to want to jump on board with you. But if you're doing it correctly and you're feeling the benefits of it and you're living that out loud and you're encouraging and supportive and just setting the example of what it's supposed to do because it is doing it for you, then trust me, it's just a matter of time and the people that you love will be on board with you. And next thing you know, your girlfriends will be doing it and your extended family will be doing it. And then what the best thing about intermittent fasting with your tribe of people is it opens up so many opportunities to do other things besides just sit around and eat. You can actually go out and do some things that are active. You can go to the movies, you can go to a play, all the extra money you have by not buying all that snack food. It opens up all kinds of opportunities for you to be social and spend time with people that doesn't necessarily have to be tied in to food. And that's a very freeing and empowering feeling. So I'm going to share with you just a little bit of something that came my way today, and then I'll go ahead and welcome everybody to the broadcast and answer your guys' questions. But I did get a message from someone today who is the husband of someone who was in one of my courses. He was very gracious today and shared with me how when his wife was jumping on board, the first thought that came to his mind was, oh my gosh, here we go with another fad diet. She was in my course. She was doing well. He decided to start researching intermittent fasting and started incorporating it for himself. He has lost 23 pounds and says he feels better than he did when he was in his 20s. That's big for a man who's probably in his 50s or late 40s to say that he feels better than he did in his 20s, because ladies, I don't know if you know this, but that late 40, early 50 time frame is when the men that we love, if we're not careful, are just kind of falling out with heart attacks and having strokes and all kinds of health issues that they don't need to be suffering from. So if we lead this cause and we set the good example and we can get them to follow us and come on board, it's endless the lifestyle that we can live as we live out our dreams of hoping to retire someday and be active and travel and be energized and involved in our kids' lives and our grandkids' lives. And that's a big thing today, to be in your 40s and 50s and 60s and be an active member of your kids and your grandkids' life. And I know for my husband and I, that's our goal. We want to be those grandparents that are around for our grandkids. We want to be active. We want to be fun grandparents. We want to be able to take them to the park and have our kids not worry about leaving their kids in our care because we can't take care of ourselves. And so I know that for my husband and I, that is very motivating to us, and that's our mission. And that's why we do the things that we do with our health and fitness, to make sure that we can give that back to our kids and our grandkids. So let me see who is here on YouTube, and then I'll go over to Facebook, you guys. Julie, good to see you here. When does your August class start? It'll probably start, since starting July 1st, I'm guessing it'll start probably August 1st. So if you're not on our email list yet, make sure you get on our email list, and we'll make sure that we email you with all the information. Good evening, all you guys. Julie, I made it to the 20-hour fasting. Is the eating window 4 hours? Yeah, because there's 24 hours in a day. So if you fast for 20, that means you feast for 4, and then you start and you just kind of cycle through the next day. Marnie, hi Diane, just listening to all of your past YouTube videos. So damn excited now to start July. Marnie, I'm so damn excited to have you start with us in July too, so welcome. Julie, when I do the 20-hour fast, then eat. If I'm not hungry during the rest of my eating window, but I'm going to fast another 20 hours, should I go ahead and eat? I always say, if you're not hungry, don't eat. Just test it out. And the worst case scenario for you, Julie, is you're going to end your fast maybe a little bit tomorrow if your hunger hormones aren't balanced out yet. Flaming June, I'm in my 3rd week with IF and am now eating dinner with my family for the first time in a decade. I freaking love this lifestyle. Okay, Flaming June, I got to tell you, that was the first, big aha moment I had about intermittent fasting was I can sit with my family and eat like a normal person. There is nothing worse than sitting with a group of people, especially your family, and especially if you're the one that's preparing the meal, and not being able to enjoy a meal with your family. And we are a meal family. Like, we sit down together every night as a family of 4. We say our little prayer, we eat our meal, we talk about our day, we exchange jabs at each other and all the stuff that your family does when they sit around to have dinner together. And I was always sort of a little bit disconnected and a little bit down about it, and maybe feeling sorry for myself because I didn't get to partake like everybody else did. And now I do. And it is a very, very powerful thing. And it's also a very important thing to have. And it's a great thing, I think, to model for our kids, especially our daughters. So it is a big thing for our families, for sure. Kristen, Julie, if you're not hungry, don't force it. Listen to your body. If you fast 20 hours, you have an eating window of 4 hours. If you need to eat the whole 4 hours, go ahead. If not, that's okay. Well, there you go. Yeah, I never force myself to eat anymore, and if I'm hungry, I eat literally the entire 4 hours. Just make sure you're eating nutrient-dense food. Don't eat empty calories. If sounds good, but struggling with emotional distance from unaligned dinner schedule, hence unaligned dinner schedule. Why do you have an unaligned dinner schedule? Fix that. You have a power to align your dinner schedule. Don't be unaligned. IF can be life-changing. IF is life-changing, so thanks for joining us. Julie, this is making so much sense, so freeing to eat with family and friends. It is. It's the best. Jill, I've got one of my coworkers and his wife IFing. Jill, that means you get a star, girlfriend. Good for you. I'm really hoping this will help with menopause symptoms. It will. Remember, hormones have to adjust and balance on their own time, so the more consistent you are with your fasting, the more you're in a true fasted state during your fasting window, the more nutrient-dense foods you put into your feasting window, and the more you keep those hormone imbalancers out of your life while you're balancing, the faster it'll happen. You can have some things, you can loosen the reins a little bit once you feel balanced out and normalized, and those menopausal symptoms start to go away. You can kind of play around with some things and add them back in. But I always say, when you're in the balance out stage, try to be as consistent as you can. Heather, during the 24 fasting window, I have so much optimism and hope, tremendous energy, enough to start a new business. This after 2 years of depression and eating normally. Heather, kudos to you, girlfriend. And I call that energized calm. So when you're in a true fasted state and you get in that fat adaptive feeling, I call that energized calm. So you have energy to get through your day. You have energy to start a new business. You have energy to deal with all the things that life throws your way. But there's this sense of calm and peace about you that is kind of hard to explain unless you're like Heather or the women in my intermittent fasting course who are actually experiencing it. And it is probably the best feeling that you can have. So I always say strive for energized calm. That's where you want to kind of get to, and then hang out there as much as you can. Gigi Hall, hi Diane, what's a good time to start my intermittent fasting? Gigi, you have to figure that out for yourself, and it all is dependent on your lifestyle and what's going on in your life. Kristen, I'm loving that I no longer crave carbs and sugar. It's so amazing to crave healthy fats, food, and plain water now. Plain water. Plain water bottle. I filled up my water bottle 3 times today. How many times today have you guys filled up your water bottle? And that's with my mineral water. So 3 times plus my mineral water. Shayna, awesome. Heather Peer, congrats. Yeah, Heather's doing great. Deborah, hey Diane, so excited about starting in July, watching all of your YouTubes. Deborah, awesome. Watch all the YouTubes, and then I would say that the more you can watch my YouTube videos, the more of a head start you're going to have in our July course. So do your homework, and then that way your first week you'll be in it fast. When you were out of sync with family, who ate when? We all sat there at the same time. I just didn't eat because I had already consumed all my calories for the day. Glenda, hey girlfriend, good to have you here. Okay, let me go over here to Facebook really quick. So YouTube, hang on for a second. I'm going to welcome everybody and answer any questions I have. My husband is here. Always love when he's here. Michael, can you do me a favor and can you post the link for the July course for anyone on Facebook who needs it? Robin, good to have you here. Margaret is here. Debani, hello. Mary, hey, I'm so glad I'm here. Fasted today for 18 hours, just getting ready for July. Awesome. Yeah, keep practicing. I'm telling you guys, the more you practice this next week, the better the first week is going to be for you. Tina Long, good to have you here. Kara, good to have you. Shayla, good to have you. You've been consistently on. I love it. My girl Melissa across the street is here. Melissa's one of my neighbors and my girlfriend who's now a pro faster. She just went on vacation to New York and had a great time with her girlfriends and came back feeling awesome. And I think that's another great thing about fasting too, you guys. You can vacation, loosen the reins a little bit, and come back and just fall right back into your life. It's really freeing to have that on your side too. Christine, hello from Perth, Western Australia. Girlfriend, it's got to be really early in the morning, so thank you for being here with us. I've been getting in some 20-hour fasts, and oh my gosh, I have dropped 3 kilograms. So quick math, how many pounds is 3 kilograms for you US people? Haven't been able to drop weight for the longest time. Christine, if you're looking to lose some weight, intermittent fasting will do it for you. It will do it in a nice, consistent way without you even having to try. So keep at it, and that weight dropping off will get even better. Jenny, hi from Michigan. My day starts so well when I do not have to worry about breakfast or packing lunch. Gives me extra time. Jenny, I totally agree with you. It's like having your life back. Oh, there's no worse feeling than feeling like you're like a slave to food. And I was the girl because I was hypoglycemic that had to carry an insulated lunch bag everywhere I went, and my husband would always make sure he packed extra snacks for me because nobody wanted mom to be hangry because I was not nice when I was hangry. And so we always had to make sure that mommy had her snacks before we could leave the house. And now I can go hours and I'm fine. And that's also nice too. Monica, hey girlfriend, thanks for joining us from Long Island. I can't wait for you to start our program too. Dina, kiddos are natural fasters. We can learn from them. Yes, right? Like, because they don't have to follow someone else's plan. They just go by what their body's telling them. So I totally agree with that. Stop shoving food down your kids' throats. Make sure they have good quality food to choose from, and stop blaming your kids for goldfish and gummy bears and cookies and all of those things that if you just provided other options, your kids would eat that too. So stop letting your kids kind of be that scapegoat for you to buy crappy food and quit blaming it on them. Your kids will instinctively eat when they're hungry, and they only have the opportunity to eat what you bring into the house. So if you don't want it in the house, don't buy it and don't bring it in. Diane Elegant, hey girlfriend, good to have you here. Debani, learning how to listen to my body. Debani, that is awesome, and we're going to have our call on Saturday. I'm going to help you with some stuff. Paula, my husband can fast way longer than I can. Why? I don't know. Paula, sometimes with us, it's just an emotional block that we have. So if you're finding it hard to get to the next fasting window, I always say change your dialogue in your head. So if you're like fasting for 18 hours right now and you're finding it hard to get to 20 hours, don't say 20 hours. The day before you want to extend your fasting window, just pick a time. So do the math. So for me, I always break my fast at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't care when I started my fast the day before. 4 o'clock is when I like to break my fast. So pick a time and just say, I'm going to break my fast tomorrow at X amount of time. And that's the time you break your fast. And it takes the mental block and the emotional block out of your head, and it makes it a lot easier. Margaret, IF has been a game changer in my home. My husband quickly joined me, and it has lifted so much stress from our shopping, food prep, and what to eat. He has about 50 pounds to lose and dropped 20 in the first month. Woo! Like, how awesome is that to have something that you're doing with your husband? That's fun, because you guys, when you're both energized, in an energized state of calm, like, that's fun in your house. It just is. Everybody's like chilled out, but they have a lot of energy, and you're doing something great for your husband without having to preach at him, or not without having to put a bunch of rules in place, and you're providing an environment where you can actually share in the same food, which is a great way to kind of bond. So that's great. Julissa, what are some drinks I can have while fasting? Black coffee with stevia, yes, and water. So Julissa, we do in our little clique, we do carbonated water, we do mineralized water, LaCroix, all those kind of things. Joy, good to have you here. Paula, makes sense. Yes, it does. Arnulfo's here. Okay, cool. Okay, Arnulfo, do you do fasting at all? I know you're a big fitness and health guy. Okay, cool. Let me see any other comments over here on YouTube. If you guys are interested in my July course, we just posted the link for that as well. Make sure you guys get yourself registered before it's too late, because we will close out. I don't know, I would love to take everybody every month, but what happens is we end up getting so many people that it gets really crowded. So we do have to pick a day to cut it off. And my assistant, Kara, who's amazing, keeps warning me that the class is getting way, way, way full. So I kind of leave it up to her to pick a day to close it out. So when she says we got to close it out because we have too many people, then we have to close it out. So if you're interested in joining, don't wait. Get yourself in, because I guarantee you after the first 7 days, your life will be changed forever. What we do after the first week is just bonus. The first week is where you're really going to have a life-changing experience. Monica, hello, Monica from SoCal. Started IF at the end of May. I hit my sweet spot, dropped 5 pounds last week, another 2 pounds this week so far. Looking forward to vacation in control and joining the August class. Monica, I can't wait to have you join the August class, because if you're already having that kind of success now, what you're going to have when you join the course is just going to be success and a bunch of tools. And so when you get the tools and you have the history of success, you'll be able to do this for the rest of your life, and you won't have to worry about weight or a lot of the health issues that a lot of women are dealing with. You'll be home free. Cassie, hi, will squeezing lemon or lime into the water break the fast? Cassie, that's that kind of thing that I always suggest that you experiment with. And every time I suggest experimenting, I always suggest experimenting for a 7-day time period. And so I say do water with lemon and lime for 7 days. See if you're fat adaptive. See if you have that energized sense of calm. See if you're seeing some changes, outwardly on your body. See if you're, seeing feeling your clothes changing. Then go 7 days without it, and then compare the 2 weeks. That's how you'll know whether you can have lemon or lime in your water, because every body handles that different. I had the stomach flu earlier in the week, naturally fasted for 48 hours, and now I'm taking advantage. 20-hour fast. The last 2 days have been easy. Yeah, girl, way to kickstart a fast. If you're going to have the flu, that's the best way to kickstart it for sure. Okay, Brenda, hi. Good to see you here. Dina, hi. Oh, hi, Mom. I guess that's not me. That must be for Brenda. Make sure to go back to the beginning when the live is over. Great info. Okay, cool. Yes, have your mom go back to the beginning. Julissa, I'm interested in signing up. I'm an emotional eater, a binger, and have a sweet tooth. Can this help? Okay, so hello, Julia. Welcome to the crowd. We are all in one way or another emotional eaters. I put myself in that group as well. Some people are like a downer emotional eaters, and some people are upper emotional eaters. I happen to be an upper emotional eater. When things are good in my life and things are energized in my life, I can very unconsciously eat ravenously, and so my husband and I are always in check with that. The binge eating part, that part is that thing that we're going to kind of help you deal with, and then just put I like to help you learn how to put some triggers in place to kind of catch yourself in that. And so I say take the course, write it through, and then we're going to help you kind of let go of some of those like hats that you're wearing, and just have you be a faster, and I teach you how to do that efficiently. Okay, cool. Glenda, will the course be available always for me? I've been so crazy this month and haven't been able to read all of them. Yeah, Glenda, once you're in the course, you always have access to the lessons, so no worries there. Zoe Blue, I'm finding the 20-hour fast is easier than I thought. Was doing 16-8 for 2 years. Yeah, a lot of women get stuck in the 16-8 for some reason. I think it's because it's very common. And a 20-hour fast, like I said, if you say 20 hours, it seems daunting and almost impossible. But once you do it and your body has that experience, your muscle memory with it kind of starts to fall into place, and it's really not hard. I call the 20-hour fast the sweet spot. For most women, that's when you really start seeing the emotional or hormonal balance. That's when you really start seeing the fat loss benefits. That's really when you get that energized sense of calm. So I always suggest starting slow, working your way through the protocols, and then getting to that 20-hour fast for sure. Yeah, Julie, so we'll help you. Just take the course slow. I say never jump into anything frantically. Don't jump in too fast. We really try to teach you the hows and whys of fasting and make it make common sense. I teach you how to think on your own 2 feet. I don't preach at you. I don't tell you what to do. I give you information and then I send you off to figure it out for yourself. So it is a really great opportunity for y'all to learn. Jessica, thanks for jumping in with us. So if you guys have any other questions, definitely get them posted up really quick, and then I'm going to jump off of here. I have some consult calls with my current group that I'm going to be conducting tonight. So I want to make sure I get prepared for those. And then, like I said, the July course is filling up quickly. If you want to get in, definitely make sure that you get yourself set up. I would say by the end of this weekend, and then Kara and I are going to kind of, we meet up on Monday morning and we'll make a determination on Monday morning if we need to close it out, if we can keep it open for a couple more days. But don't wait. It always breaks my heart to tell people that they have to wait till the next one starts because it's a long time to wait. So if you've been following along, if you've been experimenting, if you're eager to get something going for yourself, either hormonally wise or just relieving yourself of some burden of food, or you want to kind of just get that feeling of control with your life and around food, and break some food habits and some food stereotypes, and then lose some weight. You'll eventually lose weight. I have people messaging me from past course still that are just blown away at all the weight that they are dropping now that their body is balanced out, their hormones are balanced out, and they're very calm about what they're doing with their fasting. So it is a lifestyle that you can maintain for a very long time, and it is very easy to do once you can change the paradigm in your head and really start thinking about the common sense aspects of what fasting is, the health benefits of fasting, and how crazy it is that we have been living the way we've been living for so long, and why it is that we all have become sick in many different ways from just constantly feeding our body food and not really giving our body a chance to be in a fasted state where our body is allowed an opportunity to heal itself. So we don't really have to do much. We just get out of our body's way, let it do what it's been designed and created to do, and that is take care of itself and heal itself and lose weight. And you don't have to force your body to lose weight. It will willingly let go of weight when it is ready to do so, because it is in a healthy place. So thanks so much for jumping on with us tonight, you guys. Oh, Shana, you're welcome. Thanks for being here with me, you guys. I know it's late for some of you, or if you're in Australia, it's early for you. And thank you for joining us. I always love having you. I love the comments. I love the greetings that you guys are posting on these live broadcasts, and comments that you're posting on the videos afterwards. You're a great community of people. You're helping each other, which is the way it's supposed to be for us women. We are supposed to be here supporting each other, encouraging each other, and helping each other. And you guys are that group of women, which makes me super proud to hang out with you, because it's all just sort of happened naturally for us. And so I always appreciate you being here. You make what I do super fun for me and super motivating, and I look forward to being here with you guys when I am on my live. So a little housekeeping for you guys. I have changed my live broadcast schedule just a little bit for the next couple of months, because my kids are home with us for the summer, and my husband is off on Sunday nights and Monday. So we've decided to just do our live broadcast from Monday through Thursday for the remainder of summer. My kids go back to school about mid-August, so that's when I'll pick Sunday nights back up. But it's that thing where we've kind of find ourselves, we want to go out and do some stuff on Sunday night, maybe go see a late movie, and we're feeling like we kind of don't have that freedom because I need to be back here at 9 o'clock to do a live broadcast. So we're going to cancel Sundays for a little bit until my kids get back in school, and then I'll jump back on Sundays. So from this week forward, so I'll start back on Monday night. I'm going to take Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. I'll be back here Monday through Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will always post these as videos, so if you can't catch the live, you can catch them later tonight, or you can have them available to you on my YouTube channel or my Facebook page. Just make sure you're subscribed and liked so that you'll be notified. Have a super night tonight, you guys. Make sure you post comments or any thoughts you have after this. Come back and leave a comment for me. I always go back and readdress them. If you're interested in joining that July group, make sure you get yourself registered. Have a good night.